On a recent trip to northern New Mexico, I needed a place to stop over on the way, and I chose Santa Rosa Lake State Park, just outside of Santa Rosa, New Mexico. I stayed in the Rocky Point campground. Santa Rosa is located off of I-40, about halfway across that interstate as it crosses New Mexico. The Santa Rosa Lake State Park is about 9 miles north of town. The lake itself was pretty low while I was visiting, so it didn't look like there was a lot of water-related recreation available right now due to low lake levels. However, I did notice that there were a number of hiking and nature trails mentioned in the park. I was just there for an overnight stopover, so I did not take advantage of those hiking trails or anything else while I was in the park. Mainly just used it to stay overnight. There are two loops in the Rocky Point campground, a loop A and a loop B. I was in Loop A, and I actually had the same campsite for the two different nights I stayed there. I stayed there going both to and from my locations that I visited in northern New Mexico. Loop A is an electric loop. There is electric at each of the campsites. There is no water at the campsites themselves, but there are water spigots that are available at different locations in the campground. Loop B, I believe, is a non-electric loop. The two loops are right next to each other, and in between the two loops are the bathroom facilities. There are full bathrooms with showers located in that building, which is also right next to a children's playground for those who are looking for that type of amenity. I was in campsite A14, which, like all of the campsites in this loop, have a concrete structure over a patio that has a picnic table. This site is on the outside of the loop, so it has a good view of the trees and brush that are outside of the campground. And this was great for wildlife viewing because, as it turned out, I had a visitor right away when I arrived. There was what I believe is a gopher snake that stayed next to my campsite. I also got to see several different kinds of birds just while sitting at the picnic table that evening. And that included a yellow warbler, also a white-crowned sparrow. There was a black-headed grosbeak, and then I also saw several Bullock's orioles as well as other birds that were in the area. As well, on my second trip, I got there right as a thunderstorm was rolling in and was able to get this awesome time lapse of that storm. Overall, I was happy with my stopover at Santa Rosa Lake State Park. Although I didn't get to see a lot of the surrounding area, the campsite itself was nice. The restrooms were clean and modern. The other people at the campsite all seemed pleasant, and there was not a lot of loud noises or anything. And it was a pleasant experience and definitely a place that I would visit again. I hope you enjoyed this short overview of my stay at Santa Rosa Lake State Park, and I will see you soon.